What up, everybody? A lot of people been wondering and asking the question, when is Jukebox going to become a cop in Raising Kanan, and what will be her connection to becoming a cop? Of course, right now she's just a high school student, probably wrapping up school. This is probably her senior year, because you know she's older than Kanan, a year or two older than Kanan, because when Kanan got the opportunity to go to a special school, Jukebox had already had the opportunity, and Marvin told her she didn't need to go to that school or something. But anyway, she's a couple years older than Kanan. People have been wondering when she's going to be a cop and what's her connection to becoming a cop. Is it Detective Shannon Burke? Because we see she's already have a relationship with her. Burke has actually let her off of a crime before too. So she got the relationship, and she owes a favor to Shannon Burke. Her cousin's dad, Detective Malcolm Howard, is also a cop, so it could definitely also be connected to Howard. But I broke down the time frame of actually when she becomes a cop, because we can find out from episode 303 of Howard. I got this on lock. When Jukebox is first introduced to the show, it is during a robbery of a pharmacy. Two of her crew members stepped out of line and decided they were going to one of them decided they were going to rob a pharmacy because he wasn't getting enough money. She was actually in the area. She shows up and she kills the kid who was doing the robbery, and because the pharmacist had triggered the silent alarm, she killed him also and took the tape, and she was deemed the hero because she had the kid kill the pharmacist first with his gun, then she shot him to make it look like she was trying to save the pharmacist. And the other kid who was with him, she let go and she took the tape. But what I'm trying to get to is, when she got finished and she got home, you see on the TV the news talking about the robbery, the police involved homicide. And the thing was, they called her Laverne Ganner, which I'm going to get to in a minute. Laverne Ganner. And they said she was a 8-year veteran of the force. So that will bring our breakdown to actually how long she had been on the force and when she will get on the police force. So that was in 2016. So if you take away 8 years from that, that's 2008. So Jukebox became a cop in 2008. I think you got to spend about 6 months in the police academy. So we could say even as early as 2007 is when she became a cop. Kanan, on the other hand, got locked up in 2005. He got out in 2015. He did 10 years. And so that would make it where he got locked up in 2005. So she actually became a cop once Kanan went to jail. And it was Kanan who convinced her to, even though he didn't like it, he didn't agree with it, he told her that it was to follow her true self and move to DC and be who she really is, which was a dirty cop. And he told Jukebox's girlfriend that if she looked up to him, she would have never became a cop. But nonetheless, he was the one who gave her the inspiration to do that, obviously while inside, because if she was an 8-year veteran, he was locked up for 10 years. So obviously, just doing the math, he had to have been locked up already when he told her this, probably because he was running things before he went in. She was probably working under him and part of his crew in some way or another. Either though she don't mess with what Marvin messed with, Marvin wasn't around no more, so she obviously was doing something for Kanan. Well, not obviously, but more than likely was doing something for Kanan. And I have the year currently that Raising Kanan is either 1992 or 1993. I got that based upon when Lulu got his house shot up and caught on fire in that drive-by by Warrell and Unique's crew. He actually was playing the song by Ice Cube, Today Was a Good Day, and that song came out in 92. So we're now in, that was season 1 when this happened. We're now in season 2, so it might be still 1992, or it might be, we might be in 1993. So either way, there is like a 14 to a 15 year gap for when she actually will become a police officer. So it's most likely we're not going to see Detective Shannon Burke mentoring her to become a police officer, and we're not going to see Malcolm Howard mentoring her to become a police officer, because she obviously is not going to become a cop for a long time from where we are at right now. But another question that I have before I finish this video is, who is Laverne Ganner? Because we know that Marvin's last name, her dad's last name is Marvin Thomas. That Thomas, Raquel Thomas, Lulu Thomas, and Marvin Thomas. Kanan has a different last name because he has the name of his supposed daddy, not really his daddy, but Defcon's last name was Stark. So that's Kanan's last name. We know why he's not a Thomas. He probably should be a Howard. We already know that ain't gonna happen. But who is Laverne Ganner? Does Laverne change her name to become a cop? Does she have to get a new identity? Does she take on Kenya's last name? Because we have not heard Kenya's last name mentioned that I know of in Raising Kanan. But this is a very interesting thing, that she completely gets rid of the Thomas last name altogether. And we know that Jukebox is going to have to keep a squeaky clean record through those 14 years, because cops are not going to let someone with a prior history get into the force. So you have felonies, probably even a misdemeanor, you probably are not going to be able to be a cop. So we did see her almost get caught for breaking into her girlfriend's house that day and listening to the CD or whatever she was doing. But yeah, so Laverne Ganner is a question mark. But as far as Jukebox, when she gonna be the cop, we don't think we're gonna see that on Raising Kanan. We got a long ways to wait if that's the case, unless they're gonna do a couple of time jumps. But that's the question though. Who is Laverne Ganner instead of Laverne Thomas? Alright,